This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
I love that.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Welcome back to the tent, peoples. Crimpton said it's Great British Bake Off podcast. That's Nick Jew.
Hello.
That's Big Ant.
I'm ready to bake.
You know his family calls him that. That's why I call him that. It is Series 14, Episode 2, Biscuit Week. This bad boy is 66 minutes long. It's a chunky ass episode.
I have a question. I have to ask. All this time I've been watching the show, these years that we've been doing this podcast, what is a biscuit? It's not a cookie. It's not a American biscuit. It's not a cracker, because they've had cookie weeks.
They have. I think they would argue specifically a cookie is chocolate chip cookie,
Okay.
oatmeal raisin, that vein.
Okay.
But biscuits is like Oreos. They would call them biscuits, and a bunch of other things that we gonna probably bump into as we go through this week's episode. So it's a couple of things over there.
Is a biscuit multi-layered then?
No, because them digestive biscuits is just one piece of thing. And like, that's a terrible name. I would never eat something called a digestive biscuit. I feel like it's medicinal.
Yeah, that's why we're in a new country. We're in a new world.
we no longer claim the old world. The old world.
This is America.
Something I noticed, I thought I'd share with y'all and you, the listeners, as well. And I want to know y'all take on this. I noticed that the Channel 4 version, I was trying to see if I could read their lips where they say show or bake off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, they definitely do either right then and there an additional take, or they do two. But it looks like they did it right then and there, because there's no difference in the flow. So I'm like,
they record it twice. They have to. Yeah.
And so, but doing that meant I was on the Channel 4 version again, and I noticed the Channel 4 version does a nice little recap of the previous week that we don't get in America. So I found that to be random. I was like, wonder why that is the case, and wonder what Netflix just like. I don't want them knowing what happened last week. They can go watch it again.
Which is crazy, because it's not like Netflix drops all 10 episodes at once. We're watching it weekly, just like everybody else. Like, can we get the little previously?
Yeah. I find it very interesting and helpful, and honestly, so I just can't call it why they wouldn't do it. Each week, we have a little news segment. We go over a couple of stories here and there. It's a good time, and that jaunt is known as Bakers Make the World Go Round. Indeed, they do, people. They make the world go round by, feeding people. And our stories this week, I got a couple of good ones. One, this is from People. Sabrina Weiss is on the byline. Great British Bake Off, because I refuse to call it a baking show. Kim Joy opens up about being a socially anxious person.
Kim Joy.
Yeah, the cooking competition show alum keeps busy with cookbooks and television appearances, but her main focus is providing mental health support. Great British Bake Off alum Kim Joy is known for her playful baking creations, but her other passion is mental health care. The 2018 GBBO competitor was known for her creative bakes on the show. They have the audacity to put also known as the Great British Bake Off in the UK, call it by its name, and continued her reputation as a whimsical baker with her 4 cookbooks. Wow, I didn't know she had dropped 4 cookbooks by now. That's crazy. Baking with Kim Joy, Christmas with Kim Joy, Celebrate with Kim Joy, and Bake Me a Cat are full of fun time, off times, animal-inspired recipes. In 2023, the baker released her graphic novel, Turtle Bread, a comic book all about baked goods and coming out of your shell, pun intended. The 100-plus page comic is about a socially anxious woman finding community in a baking club, and Kim Joy tells people that she sees a lot of herself in the story. I was so nervous about it coming out because it's a totally different thing, and I poured quite a lot of myself into it, Kim Joy says of the graphic novel, which was illustrated by Alti Firmancia. Again, you'll be in the show notes. You can read it yourself and tell me I got it wrong. According to Kim Joy, the story is unlike her cookbooks, which can only go on the surface level of mental health conversations. In Turtle Bread, she could go into all the depth of how people act and how people behave. The cookbook author has been a mental health care worker for years. After getting an undergraduate degree in sociology and a master's in psychology, Kim Joy works as a support worker in an inpatient learning disability unit and a care home, a psychological well-being practitioner in National Health Services, as an advisor to university students with mental health struggles. Kim Joy, who also appears on a British children's television show, is able to relate because of her own struggles. I always try new opportunities. Sometimes there's a bit in my head that goes, oh, do you really want to do that acting role? You're going to be terrible, she says. She knows that acting and applying to compete on the Great British Bake Off as a socially anxious person sounds so strange, but she finds it quite easy to talk to people the first time she meets them. Bake Off is kind of similar. On TV, people don't really know you, says Kim Joy, who also competed on the show's New Year special. But I was nervous about actually going back into the Bake Off, not because about going on TV. It was about seeing all the crew and seeing the judge again, because I feel like they know me better now, and that makes me feel very, very vulnerable. A little more to that story, but like I said, again, it'll be in your show notes. I have followed Kim Joy since that season. Love her to death. Love her stuff. She posted something the other day. Somebody said, why do you look like, sometimes you look like you have Down syndrome?
Oh,
and she was like, you really thought you said, she lit that motherfucker up. It was like, you really thought you said something. Let me get you right quick. And I was like,
awful.
Thank you, Kim Joy, for standing up for yourself. And that's pretty dope, in my opinion. So
I just Googled her. And she married her boyfriend in 2022.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
New deal.
Yeah. I love me some Kim Joy. She was and remains adorable. So good shit. Here's the other story we got. Girl Scouts just discontinued a fan favorite cookie. Carly Silva's on the byline. This is from Parade. Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Well done. Mm-hmm. Got to give it up to you for that one. Well done. Girl Scout cookie lovers might be disappointed in the cookie varieties this upcoming season, as a major flavor has been kicked off the shelves. The Girl Scouts of the USA confirmed this week the popular Raspberry Rally cookies will sadly not be returning for the upcoming cookie season. I'm going to take a moment here.
Never heard of it.
Okay. And thank you.
Nope.
Popular is what they have the audacity to name this.
Never heard of it. I'm Googling it right now to even know what it looks like.
Never
seen it.
Year, Raspberry Rally cookies were introduced as part of a pilot online sales-only strategy. This is not a popular cookie then. It had a year. It didn't bang. Get out of here. It's the one that looks like a pink Thin Mint, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would like to try that.
Sure, but you didn't.
I didn't get a chance to, no, because working from home, nobody can sell me no cookies.
Oh my God, I always got you a Girl Scout Connect if you need it. You let me know.
It's too late now.
You could buy them online. Last year on Twitter, somebody made a list of all like Black Girl Scout troops that you can buy cookies from.
Oh man,
that's what's up.
That would have been dope.
Yeah. Last year, Raspberry Rally cookies were introduced as part of a pilot online sales strategy, a Girl Scout spokesperson told Today.com. This was a fun and a new way to teach girls omni-channel business skills and expand our cookie portfolio. Wow. By introducing an exciting for real, an exciting new flavor profile to the Girl Scout cookie program.
New wave pimping. Like, we're going to expand our horizons.
While noting that the Raspberry Rally variety was extremely popular last year, so popular that no one on this show knew about it. Well, I kind of knew what it looked like. The Girl Scouts will be taking a pause this season to prioritize supplying our classic varieties. Fortunately, cookie fanatics will still be able to get their hands on the rest of the flavors from the usual lineup, including the beloved Thin Mints, Samoas, Do-si-dos, and more.
And they're already on eBay for an upsell of $21 plus $8.55 shipping.
That's crazy.
And
no, thank you. Again, a little bit more into that story, but you can wrap that up. Nick, when you came up, was it Samoas or Caramel Delights?
Samoas.
Excellent. So I don't know if y'all have ever witnessed the map that is the Girl Scouts map, but in some parts of this great nation, Samoas is not a thing.
Well, I don't think they're a thing anywhere anymore. I thought as of about 4 years ago, they changed all the name to Caramel Delights.
I had Samoas all through the Girl Scout season.
Oh, okay.
No. So Caramel Delights is a specific bakery. So it's a couple of different bakeries they use. And one of them is in the bakery. The bakery is in Kentucky. That's Little Brown Bakers. And then there's another one. I forgot. I don't know where that was at. And oddly enough, Kentucky is one of the states where they get Caramel Delights, even though they bake the Samoas there. And I have had the wrong Girl Scout cookies before. Trust me, you think they wouldn't, but they both taste and look different. Like Thin Mints from the other bakery are not right. They don't look right. They don't taste right. So
I wonder if that's why, since I left California, I'm not really like, I'll get a box just to support, but I've not gone after a sleeve of Thin Mints in over a decade. I used to just pop them things. Just next thing you know, whole sleeve gone.
I don't want you just, murdering sleeves of Thin Mints, but next time we come around, I might just try to ship you a box. So that way you can be like, oh, that was right. That's right. There it is.
Like, I feel like the cookie over here is, it has more air in it. It feels less like a cookie and more like a chocolate cracker.
Yes.
And that's not what I'm used to.
Yeah. So,
but it's still good.
I mean, it'll do. Everything will do in a pinch. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But that was this week's round of Beggars Make the World Go Round. You know what I'm saying? If you have a news story you think you want us to holler about or discuss, feel free to send it over to us. We will certainly do that.
So what?
I thought they changed the name because it was not politically correct.
If unless some Samoans have taken up beef, which is possible, and we are not aware, I don't know why they would, especially because some people might take that. Some people might be like, I bang with this because y'all represent my people in a way that they're not represented elsewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do
this, but I know the Polynesian community has been strongly asking for polyamorous people to stop abbreviating poly, specifically with the hashtag, because they are using and have been since the inception of the internet. They're asking us to move to polyam to shorten. So
that's an easy ask, right?
So I don't know. Maybe they said something about the cookies. I don't know.
Yeah. All I know is I don't like when Do-si-dos walk in my grass. I don't like those type of people.
Do-si-dos, bro. Our 11 remaining bakers in the tent for this series are as follows: Abby Lawson, Christy Sharp, Dan Cazador, Dana Conway, Josh Smalley, Keith Barron, Maddie Edgel, Nikki Laceby, Rowan Clawton, Saku Chandra Sakara, and Tasha Stone. Our signature this week: 12 marshmallow biscuits, 2.5 hours to do. Nikki mentioned Tunnix tea cakes. And I have had a few Tunnix tea cakes in my day. Yeah, you go hit your world market up, people, if you want to get down with some Tunnix. And they is so good. And I know I shouldn't probably be eating them because they probably got jealous in them. But I'm going to be real with you. Them Tunnix is doing something different than your Malomars or your other joints. So you might want to get down with some Tunnix.
I hope it's tilapia.
That's the thing. Europe do be kind of weird about their gelatin. And oftentimes they'll be like very specific. They'll be like, this is beef gelatin or fish gelatin or so forth and so on. So that's very helpful in that regard. So people who are who might have religious constraints or otherwise know what they're getting into and why. So the opening this week, we didn't actually talk about that. I was neither here nor there. It was fine.
I thought it was fine. And Paul, he really sold it when he was biting on the cookie. Like Paul is really improving in his acting. I appreciate it.
We only asked for a few minutes of it. And so,
right.
Yeah, he's been really down for the fun lately.
Yeah. So I dig that. With a thin layer of concrete. It was a good joke too. I thought
it was good timing. He sold it physically. Like I wasn't mad.
I will take a moment to bitch about a podcast. I listen to a Bake Off podcast that I've listened to for some time. And at this point, I find myself, I only listen to it after we record our episode. That way I've not been influenced by their thoughts on the situation. And they went so hard about that Breadfather intro and how much they disliked it that I nearly stopped the episode. And I was like, I may not be able to fuck with y'all no more.
They sound like the fun police.
And that's not normally how they get down. So it's actually, I was kind of like a bit taken aback by it. So I did not stop listening to people. I love those guys. So, but that is the only Bake Off podcast I listen to. So, for right now.
This is the only one that I listen to.
I want you to know, I listen to I don't just like sometimes I'll dip into I'll go listen to like a few minutes of Skim just so I'll make sure I got that listen on the Spotify, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I listen to this whole episode. I listen to it a couple of times in most situations.
Same.
I think we make a good show. I'm not joking. So that's just what I'm saying, not to be tooting our own horn, but I think we do pretty good work here. Let's get to our signature. Dana's up first. She's making a melodramatic marshmallow biscuit. A vanilla marshmallow on a cinnamon spice biscuit with a speculoos infused buttercream. Everything about this sounded amazing. Her mold just was too fancy for its own good.
Yes.
Too little.
I'm not in mind the little per se, but the detail was so
intricate,
finicky. Intricate. Thank you. That you knew something was gonna break.
I just mean that maybe a slightly bigger mold wouldn't have been so difficult to demold.
Yeah, up top because what are you gonna get up there? A toothpick?
Right.
Yeah. Keith is up next. A Letter from America, Marshmallow Wagon Wheel Biscuits. PB&J is the basic theme of this. A peanut shortbread biscuit with raspberry jam. I'm telling you right now, man should have told us a joke. Allison's real vibes. It's like, hey man, you did stand up, yo, that's crazy. What's one of your best bits? And he's just like, I don't really want to And then all of a sudden, I'm just thinking, was Keith telling racist jokes? That's how the brain always works. You know what I'm saying?
He did tell a joke though. It was a good joke too. When the timer went off, she was like, "Oh, what timer is that?" He was like, "For the fucking interview."
For real. So if nothing else, my man he had that time in locked in. Yeah. Dan's up next. He's going to make a water wheel marshmallow biscuit. This is again peanut biscuits, peanut butter ganache on a banana marshmallow covered in dark chocolate.
No.
Christy is making Nanny June's rose tea cakes. Rose water marshmallow mixed with a mixed berry jam atop a digestive biscuit covered in white chocolate with painted roses. Finally saw one of her 4 children. And
one of her black children.
And did have some color to them and some textured hair. So I was like, okay.
Girl kind of size.
Maddie's up next. Halftime marshmallow biscuits. Chocolate and orange shortbread and orange jam in the middle of an orange marshmallow covered in dark chocolate. Maddie this week showed some style.
Some definite finesse.
And I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, okay, Maddie, I see you, baby. Nikki's up next. Tasty Tea Time Treat. It's basically her dupe of a Tonics tea cake. Vanilla marshmallow on top of a thin layer of ginger and rhubarb jam atop a pistachio shortbread, all covered in chocolate. Josh was going for a Black Forest marshmallow biscuit. Vanilla marshmallow on top of a thin layer of Black Forest jam. In his case, his Black Forest jam is blackberries and black currants. And the cherry that is a part of the Black Forest cake is a dried cherry biscuit. Again, whole thing covered in chocolate. Saku went with pistachio and raspberry marshmallow biscuits. Pistachio shortbread, marshmallow raspberry jam based on a pistachio granita. So then I had to go look at what the hell is a granita. A granita is a frozen dessert made from fresh fruit and water blended until icy, flaked with a fork, and then frozen again. In this case, the fruit would be the pulverized pistachios.
Is a pistachio a fruit? I'm
saying what was standing in for the fruit.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I am not claiming pistachio got fruit license. I'm just saying that is what's standing in for fruit. Yeah. Tasha was making an after school marshmallow biscuit flavored like Nestle Milo malted milk. And I've seen Milo before. It's like the green tin with somebody kicking a soccer ball. And it's definitely like from all over the world. Like I said, Australians drink it. That's where she got it from. Prue was like, yeah, I used to drink that in South Africa. South Africa. And it's basically imagine, if you will, Carnation instant breakfast. You know what I'm saying? That
you're gonna love it in an instant.
But she went with that flavor. So a malted marshmallow, a malted chocolate shortbread, dipped in chocolate with a caramelized white chocolate ganache. Abby went for the flavors of Tunisia. Saffron marshmallows on top of a layer of orange curd atop of pistachio and cardamom biscuit. Cover the whole thing in chocolate. Basically, everything. Trust me, every one of these bad boys got a layer of chocolate, and with the exception of Christie's, which has a layer of white chocolate. So, because that's how these things are produced. Rowan, a lemon, rosemary, and Parma violet marshmallow biscuit. Violet marshmallow with a raspberry gel center atop a lemon and rosemary shortbread. Don't think I'm gonna leave you out there about Parma violets. Parma violets are a British violet flavored tablet confectionery manufactured by Derbyshire Company in Swillows, Maltslow. Named after the Parma violet variety of flour. The sweets are hard, biconcave, meaning they're dented on both sides like a Smartie. Disc-shaped sweets, similar to Fizzer's product from the same company, but without the fizziness. Allison said she liked them. Paul said his grandma ate them. His nan ate them, and that they were gross. He said vile. So that is I don't know, one of those tastes you got to get used to. Judging. Dana's up for us in judging as well. Looks good apart from the ones that had a tough time coming out of the mold. Delicious.
I love Dana because every time they point out a flaw in her bake, she acts like they're fucking stupid. She plays the Jedi mind trick, and it is my favorite thing. Because Prue was like, "What happened to them three over there?" She was like, "I don't know what you're on about. Like, what three? These are not the droids you were looking for."
Swave it over.
Yeah, I love it.
Paul, delicious, spicy. Paul likes the topping, but feels it's overwhelmed by the biscuit. It's so potent that the delicate marshmallow can't stand up against the mighty Speculoos biscuit. Prue, however, disagrees and feels the marshmallow should be overpowered because it's basically and here's what I wrote in my notes: basically calling marshmallows a bitch to their face.
And they ain't gonna do nothing about it.
For sure. Rowan, neat as a pin. Not too much Parma violet. Which Paul's like, all right, which I'm down for because I don't like Parma violet. The lemon comes through a pretty decent marshmallow biscuit. Prue thinks it's amazing with all those flavors showing up one after the other. I love the way Prue, I don't know, something about the way she's judging this series so far that I'm just like, yeah, it's like Prue found her voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Saku's up next. Very pretty. The flavors are really good. The jam is good. The biscuit could have been cooked a little bit longer. Maddie, chocolate decoration could have been done better. Disagree. The bottom layer of chocolate is simply too thick. The orange jam is delicious, but instead of just the blob, maybe a layer across it so it could have been in every bite. Yeah. I think what he was going for in this situation was kind of a jammy dodger. No, not a jammy dodger, a Jaffa cake, which just has a blob of orange in the middle. And I kind of think that's kind of what he was aiming at. And it worked visually, it just didn't work flavor-wise. Josh, neat as a pin. Good crack on the chocolate. Paul likes the balance of sweet and tartness. Pretty much spot on. Christy's up next. Rose flavor there, but not too much. Berry flavor needs to be stronger and more of it, but otherwise neat. Abby, a bit messy. The biscuit's lovely, a bit too much orange. Needed a little more finesse. Dan, looked pretty good, a little messy. Technically perfect, but not a fan of the flavor, and because it was basically like, yeah, I don't probably have the taste of your 4-year-old. That's all that is. And they didn't like that he paint the decoration he painted on. He's like, you could have just left that blank and it would have been fine. Mm-hmm. I agree. It was messy in a way. Yeah, it was messy in a way it was an own goal. He didn't need to do that. Keith, a bit messy. That was them being kind. Them shits looked tragic. Just bad. They were lumpy and bumpy and not smoothly decorated and nuts all over the place with no real rhyme or reason to it. They were not well made.
We can't have our nuts all over the place.
Right. You gotta put them down
together.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta put these things in a row. Do it nice. But really delicious. It's just the nicest, crispest biscuit. Which I don't know, man. Oh, bleak. Nikki, no jam. Otherwise, nicely constructed. Biscuit is nice and crisp. Chocolate nice and thin. But it needed the jam to differentiate itself. It simply was not there. She's like, I just tried to put a thin layer, and I watched her spread that jam on there.
It was a thin layer. Roseanne was out here reneging on the jam.
Anthony have ruined this lady for me because now I just think it's Roseanne doing a bit. Every time I see her, I'm like, Roseanne, talk regular. I thought the bitch was white.
You beat me to it.
Oh my God. Last up is Tasha. Looks very sophisticated. Prue thinks at first glance the biscuits may be too thick, but the way the biscuit crumbles makes Paul disagree. The chocolate comes through, not dark, but nice and malted. Delicate, pretty, with a beautiful malted flavor in the mouth. Led to a handshake that made me, I want y'all to know, I screamed, fuck yeah, loud as shit. Scared Vanessa. I was just so hyped. It was like I said, I messaged them and let them know it was like my team had scored. I was so pumped for her because them shits looked amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then as it turns out, they tasted amazing. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Allison was like, that got a handshake? Well, I will have 2 of those. And grabbed her two of them bad boys and kept them moving. And in my notes I wrote here, she's absolutely perfect for this job. Because I love me some Allison, man.
Yes.
That was our signature this week. Anything stick out from it that y'all was like, or good or bad, either way?
No.
Fair enough, people.
If I have to say something, it was just like they were giving Keith some real video time, letting us know, hey, something up here.
Oh, he got the loser edit.
Something going on here, baby.
I know what I wanted to say. I forget his name. The one who made the berry jam, Jerry Jam. He grew those berries in his garden. He was making, it said, with the spoils of his work.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah.
It's funny that they called Abby the forager when 2 weeks straight now, my man Josh done came through shit he grew.
Yeah,
right.
He had that big ass squash. What do they call it? A cornet over there?
Courgette.
A courgette. Yeah, I just learned that just the other day in passing.
Courgettes and cornichons and the differences thereof.
Yeah, and my lady, she pointed out how small his hands were. She's like, well, why not? Look at his little hand. And I was like, they're not little, they're delicate.
Delicate little mitts. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Tactical challenge this week set by one Prue Leaf. 12 perfectly baked custard creams with 90 minutes to finish. Creme au beurre filled stamped biscuits, creme au beurre or French buttercream, if you didn't know. That's heated sugar, egg yolks, and butter beaten together until smooth. The dough has to be properly chilled for the stamp to work. And every time someone says this my own little side story. Every time someone says it's like the first pancake, you know it's going to be bad. I know they can't make pancakes because not I. My pancakes would be on point from go. But also, I've been making pancakes. It's like the second thing I learned how to make. So, of course,
I can't make pancakes. I won't say I can't. I've never tried. I can make banana pancakes. So,
It's still a pancake.
yes, you can make pancakes. The hell?
isn't it different though? Because it's like the batter is chunky,
Oh.
so it solidifies easier. But they are very hard to flip. They are extremely difficult to
I
flip.
mean, that means you do banana square. You do pancake square. You do it the hard way.
So I just learned maybe two weeks back. Apparently, a lumpy pancake batter leads to a fluffier pancake.
Huh.
So you might want your batter to have a little bit of lump to it. On to judging. Again, technical is a breezy one because all I can do is tell you what they're supposed to make. Maddie's up top. Looks a bit pale. A bit of definition in the stamp. Pretty neat. Not overfilled. A nice snap to the biscuit. It just needed a wee more time in the oven. Tasha. Lost some definition, meaning the dough wasn't chilled long enough. Underfilled, and the filling is not quite set. The biscuit is underbaked as well. Needed longer in the oven. And then here again, it's my own little whatever. Their fear of overbaking has caused far too many of them in this challenge to underbake.
Yeah.
And so it's a complaint that constantly happens the rest of this judging. Christy, I refer to her here in my notes as the dough stealer.
She sure did take that man dough.
Yeah.
He was like, "Baby, that's mine. What is you doing?"
That was another observation. She was like, "She did that on purpose." I was like, I don't know.
It has very little definition, meaning again, it wasn't chilled long enough because basically, which tells you something because hers was in the refrigerator longer because she stole the other man's dough. So, well filled. The dough simply wasn't rolled enough. Custard better than the biscuit.
Shade.
Has a bit of color. Definition okay. Piping good. Tastes properly baked. Dan, lovely color. Pretty even on top. Very good. Well filled. Needed a little longer in the oven. Besides that, pretty faultless as they look wonderful. Nikki, a little more color on them. A bit of definition on some, but not on others. Well filled. The custard comes through nicely. Good flavor. Underbaked. Dana, lost definition. A little underfilled. Good crunch. Not bad, but kind of thick. Just like their baker. Saku, misshapen. Thick here, thin there. No definition. The creme au beurre has curdled. So basically, sweet scrambled eggs. People.
Ew.
Yeah. You do not want your buttercream.
You know how I feel about that.
Curdling.
How you like your eggs? Fried or fertilized?
Abby, good definition. Nice and equal. Colors right with a slight brown to it. Looks good. Nice and thin. Really crispy. That's a custard cream. In fact, better than a commercial made custard cream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever had the joy of enjoying a custard cream. They're very good.
Never.
Is that another world market treat?
Yes. I'm trying to think. We had a cookie like that in America. I don't know what it was called. That's exactly what it was yes, that's exactly what it was called, wasn't it? It was that yellow cookie with the white fella.
I've never had one before, but it was kind of like one of those things where it's like Giant Eagle won't have it, but Heinen's will.
Yeah. That is what a custard cream pretty much. That's the American take on a custard cream. Probably a little sweeter than the English one. Keith, uneven, no definition.
Damn.
The dough was clearly soft and hard to cut, like rubber. Not a success. It's too
damn. My dog. I I couldn't save them if I tried this week.
Rowan, look great. Even look professional. Like the others, slightly underbaked because they are too thick.
Yeah.
A little longer in the oven, and Bob's your uncle. And it just, my man, Rowan, well, we'll talk about it. Our ranking is as follows. Keith, a bit of a mess. Looked like they were done in a rush.
Yeah.
How you get 90 minutes and told your shit like it was done in a rush?
As a person who bakes cookies every year for Christmas, you could just tell they didn't chill because them bad boys were shiny as hell. He didn't flour he didn't flour them to get them out. It was just it was a mess, and it was too thick.
That's another thing. It was wild to me to see people not understand flour that press, and then
Yeah.
But you know what? Then some people didn't because they had it chilled enough, so they just came around.
That it popped right out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Staku was number 10. A real mess, too soft and underbaked. For real, you get told a real mess. You got to take that to your heart. Christy, uneven, no definition. 8 is Tasha. 7 is Dana. 6 is Josh. 5 is Maddie. I disagree with where they put Josh based on what they said about his bake. Maddie's number 5. Nikki's number 4. I would have swapped 4 and 5 with Maddie. I think Maddie should have been 4, and Nikki should have been. Actually, Nikki probably should have been 6, and Josh should have been 5. But that's my own. Rowan, nice but a bit soft, comes in 3rd. Dan, pretty good, just not as good as Abby's. Abby, pretty well perfect.
What did Tasha place?
Tasha came in 8th in technical. So,
and this is where I try not to spoil it, but what did you guys think about that? Because yet again, it's just like there's a black girl.
The technical don't matter because it just don't. We have come to the conclusion for us, technical simply cannot matter.
The crossover don't never cross over to us.
But also, hold on.
It seems like it don't matter until it do.
Yeah.
Which we said last week. It does not matter until it does. That's exactly the case. But in this instance, well, let's wrap it up before we start. We'll extol the virtues of the technical challenge or not as it goes along. Showstopper. Nick Chu, were you showstopper this week?
I was again.
Yes. They really outdid themselves this one. I was very happy with it.
The stoppiest of the showiest of the stoppers, in my opinion, was Dana's.
Dana's? Oh,
yes.
That shit was incredible.
Yes. I don't know them.
But also, because I feel like Old Girl's charcuterie, although it was the best of all the charcuterie, she literally just plopped down fondant on top of a cookie. And her shit looked exactly like it was supposed to look. But I don't think it, the hamburger, the pizza,
Josh,
craftsmanship.
Little Hands McGee had the best, them tomatoes with the Jolly Ranchers in them. Oh, man.
Hold on. Let's walk through it. Showstopper this week is an illusion biscuit display depicting your favorite meal. 4 hours to complete. Josh, first, JJ's Burgers and Fries Illusion Biscuits. Once you know, I went back to double check and make sure they said fries in both episodes, and they did.
They did.
The English said fries, and the American version said fries. I was like, they're going to say chips over there and fries over here. Made from 5 types of biscuits. A gingerbread cutting board, orange shortbread fries, Florentine burger patties. If y'all don't remember, Florentines are made of nuts, typically hazelnuts and almonds, and candied cherries mixed with sugar, melted together with butter and honey. That you know. Almond flavored buns, salad, which made me laugh because I was like, that's a very British term. Right. Salad made from strawberry flavored sugar biscuits. Salad, y'all, is just lettuce and tomato. Yeah, lettuce, your lettuce and your tomato. Dana's up next. Friday night takeaway pizza. A maple pecan shortbread base, dates roll stuffed crust, 12 pepperoni and biscotti, garlic knot situation. The 12, if you don't know, is a wafer that resembles the tile that lines the rooftops of provincial French houses. Yeah. Christy, family. Why did I write that? It just made myself laugh. Family charcuterie board is what I wrote. It's a charcuterie board. She made this marzipan ham covered biscotti. So that's what Nick was just talking about with basically fondant covered. She made biscotti, then covered it in marzipan, made it look like ham that kind of looked like bacon.
Which it did. Which it did, but it was not as clever as the tomato.
Yeah, when people are out here making actual food, dupes basically look real from Biscuit, you making marzipan and wrapping stuff in it or fondant for something else because there was fondant covered ginger biscuits, orange pistachio biscuits made to look like chorizo and various cheeses. Yeah, sure thing. You made a charcuterie board, but I mean, it wasn't really that great. So, Rowan, he made a charcuterie board. Did he?
Ooh.
Sugar cookie prosciutto, bread and cheese made from Polish gingerbread, forgive me, which unlike other gingerbreads, doesn't actually have any ginger in it. It is instead spiced with cinnamon, cloves, allspice, and cardamom.
It's like pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
No
pretty
pumpkin.
Much. Maddie made a cheese board made up of 6 different biscuits, a camembert made of coconut and lime shortbread, a cranberry and pistachio shortbread brie, macaroon, grapes, and olives, a Garibaldi biscuit-based crackers. So he made crackers out of Garibaldi biscuits. And we talked about Garibaldi probably last series. The Garibaldi biscuit is basically currants that are squashed between like the dough, and then you bake them. And, there you go. But then he ended up doing them to make crackers out of them. And then he put like a egg wash on them and to make them shiny. Killed it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Abby made a dim sum brunch. And this is what my notes say. I noticed that she said Chinese food as opposed to saying a Chinese because Abby is cultured and has lived elsewhere and therefore has good sense.
I also think you only reference it in that way when you're referring to takeaway. Like you don't say you're going to an Indian, but you would say I got an Indian.
Yeah, which just sounds awful.
Right. It was a huge controversy on TikTok, and now it's the only way I say shit. Like I got a Chinese.
I got a Chinese. I had a Chinese the other day. Anyway, marzipan and cherry filled brandy snap spring rolls, lemon and Earl Grey biscuits, steamer basket, apricot and pistachio filled biscuit dumpling, and of course, fortune cookies.
I'm not gonna hold you, but I bet you that motherfucking lemon and Earl Grey. Woo.
It sounds fantastic.
Woo.
It just do. It just sound. Yeah, Abby, somebody you better put on your list. I want y'all to know that. You be watching, okay? Tasha's up next. Japanese katsu and matcha orange and almond biscotti chicken. A Palais Breton biscuit bowl. Of course, I'm gonna tell you, Palais Breton is a popular biscuit in France. It's a rustic biscuit from Brittany, a region in Western France known for producing butter and other dairy products. So that Breton is from Brittany.
Not to be a hater, but why did her katsu sauce just look like chocolate? Like, I was impressed with the rice bit of it. And everything else, well, it was like the quote unquote chicken cutlets. It just looked like cookies with chocolate on it.
Illusory.
Yeah. It wasn't the best illusion in the tent.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll say that.
She also made matcha Viennese cups. Viennese whirls are a British biscuit consisting of soft shortbread cakes piped into a whirl shape, said to be inspired by the Austrian pastries. Vienna, Viennese. There you go. Keith, Lyon-Solent lunchtime meal deal. Lyon-Solent is a seaside district in the borough of Gosport in Hampshire, England, about 8 clicks west of Portsmouth, in case you're wondering. He made a Viennese biscuit and raspberry ice cream cone, shortbread, ham, and lemon shortbread tomato sandwich with a spiced biscuit crust with a side of almond twirl crisp in a gingerbread tube. Basically, made a Pringles can. It sounds so smart, and that's where he leave it at. Saku, like Keith earlier, was not trying to play with Allison. Because Allison was like, girl, you making real onions?
Saku gave her the black mama, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
It was so real.
That shit was, that I did not realize how universal that look is. She hit her with the like, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
And I laughed the first time, and then today when I was watching, I was like, I'm just gonna hit that 10-second skip. I don't need to see that a second time.
My heart grew 3 sizes for Saku. Said she don't play. I can tell right now she does not play.
turned, hand on her hip, and gave that look.
Listen,
it was like,
Better.
I know you think this is funny, but I got shit to do, and you ain't gonna be talking about my onions.
She did have a point though. Why you put real onions on the cookie tray?
Right here in my notes, Allison. But why was she making onions? Taku made a Sri Lankan breakfast feast. Coconut and cardamom biscuit hoppers. If you don't know what a hopper is, because I didn't, hoppers or appam is a thin pancake made of fermented rice batter and coconut milk cooked in an apachati, which is a type of pan similar to a wok. So it's not just, it's some stuff to that. But hoppers, apparently they pop it. They must be regularly eat. Man, you forget how colonialism get now. Because they know what it was. I was like, oh, y'all know what it is. I don't. Rotis made of cheddar, rosemary, and black pepper, and chocolate and coffee biscuit chicken curry. There's a lot going on there. Nikki, a steak pie shortbread. Shortbread pie crust. Chocolate, quote, steak biscuits sandwiched with a hazelnut and orange ganache. Rose hip marzipan peas and shortbread chips on a plate of decorated gingerbread. One of the things I dislike or I'm taken or bothered by, but early in the season, because there's so many bakers, you don't get them, they don't sample, or at least they don't speak about everything. And I'm like, I want to know how this shit went down with these rose hip marzipan peas and so forth and so on. But they just have to skip it because they just don't have time to like basically go through everybody, all 6 of everybody's biscuits. It's unfortunate. Dan, cheese and onion pie. Does that sound good or does it sound terrible?
It sounds good. Kinda. It's like a savory Danish in the concept realm for me.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So like a spanakopita without the spinach.
Like I know some Asian bakeries like have like they'll have buns and it'll have like it'll be cheese in the middle, and like back in the day when I used to eat pork, it'd be like bacon and cheese and onion.
It's random. I don't know. They cheese and onion is a huge flavor over in the UK. Like that's their, you know how we sour cream and onion our chips. Cheese and onion is their chip equivalent. So.
I would like to see it.
Hey, he made gingerbread plates, shortbread pie pastry. So that was the pastry of his pie was made from shortbread, pistachio shortbread onions, orange curd cheese sauce because cheese and onion pie. Shortbread peas and vanilla biscuit chips.
The chips were cute.
Yeah, it really worked out. See, they was too dark for. He said, I like my chips dark.
I stand by that man.
Yeah, for sure. Let's judge it, people. Tasha's up first. Looks good. Very pretty. Nice and sharp biscuit. The biscotti is delicious. Loves the crunch. Texture spot on. Both biscuits spot on. You set a high bar. Love you some Prue. Christy looks wonderful. Ginger good. Biscotti very nice. Neat. Done well.
Tell me again what Christy had made.
A charcuterie board?
Oh yes. I'm sorry. Nikki is Roseanne.
Yes.
I forgot what she made. Yeah, I'm not saying she cheated. It was very visually appealing. But the thing that made it so visually appealing was marzipan.
Yeah, which feels like a cheat.
Yeah.
How about that? We'll allow for that. Rowan, this my own notes. Well, everyone else went for realistic. His comes off as cartoonish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good flavor. The illusion just doesn't work, but the flavors are enjoyable. Maddie, terrific illusion. Very crumbly shortbread. Well done. I wanted them to go so much more in on Maddie's, but his was so right that there's little that can be said.
That motherfucking Swiss cheese, that baked brie, like it looked like cheese.
Yes, he did such a good job. So that's another one. Put him up. If he can decorate that well, as long as he's cooking otherwise, he might be able to go far.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, similar to Rowan, more artistic than illusory. You know what I'm saying?
Them tomatoes.
We'll
Especially compared to oh boy tomatoes.
Yeah.
Clever. No tomatoes, not no tomatoes, not on point, but good flavor. The shortbread is too soft. The ice cream cone biscuit is slightly raw inside. Strike three.
Still delivered.
Dana, do they really not? This is my own. Again, these are my own notes. I gotta like bold my own notes. I know what it's me and what actually happened. Do they really not know about Chicago deep dish? Because they seem utterly confused by a pizza being that deep, and I'm just like, y'all gotta.
I mean, you remember how they acted about some motherfucking tacos.
Three makers from the Great American Bake Off. I'm gonna call it what I call it. Was from the Chicagoland area.
Yeah,
they probably should have just kicked it over there for a little bit and had some good food. Chicago is an amazing food town, y'all. If you have not gone, go to Chicago and go eat.
Yeah, but
it's on my domestic cities list.
Yeah, but wasn't that shot at overseas though?
I know, but I'm just saying. Come through. They enjoyed all of it, and all of it a lot. Good job. Flavors and texture clever, very original. The date stuffed crust gets pointed out in particular as something that like Prue was like, yo, that's crazy.
And it was beautiful.
So good. It looked so good. It looked like a Chicago deep dish pizza. She managed to make it have a cheese pool with some white chocolate. She had I don't know what I want to describe. What'd she do to make that white chocolate do that?
I don't know. Did she run it through like a grater?
She threw it through the Play-Doh maker,
like a pasta maker.
Yeah. We'll go with that. I just didn't know what turn of phrase would have fit that. But yo, gorgeous. And so also the good for that. Abby likes the look, looks clever, very nice steamer basket. Feeling is strong, but good. Biscuit good. Done a decent job. The illusion works.
And she made actual fortune cookies that they didn't even talk about.
Thank you. Like I said, I as we get further into it and they have more time on their hands, they certainly will. But I missed that part up here. Saku, the roti is so good, it should become a Sri Lankan delicacy itself. That's high praise. The hopper, the spices are good, but the design is just kind of dull. They would have
I fucked with her design. To me, it looked very realistic. She had like a bowl of rice. Like I think her whatever the egg was supposed to be inside of
the hopper, yeah.
Oh, okay. That looked thrown together or whatever, but like everything else was dope.
The fact that, like I said, I had to go look at what a hopper was. I was like,
I don't know what that is.
She made a hopper. It's just like it's a little pancake bowl with usually with an egg in it. And but Prue was like, it should have been a larger egg and perhaps maybe some like, something to represent green spring onions. And something a little chili or something like that. And like, sure, I guess it could have been that, but that's not what it looked like when you make it for real.
And Saku looked at her like she looked at Allison like, it's not what the fuck it's supposed to be.
Dan, just beautiful. Chips are a bit burnt, but the rest is absolutely delicious and an absolute triumph except for the overbaked chips.
It looked bland to me, but I understand that that's
English food.
Yeah.
A thing.
That's kind of how the food is.
Yeah.
Nikki, good looking, detailed, neat. Chips look more like shortbread fingers than chips. Chocolate and hazelnut beefs are beautiful. The texture falls apart in the mouth and the ganache just tops it up. Flavor of the gingerbread bowl is good, but it's too thick and therefore underbaked. They wanted a thinner, crisper situation there.
And hers to me fell in the cartoony thing too. Like I thought that her peas and carrots were very realistic, but everything else looked like a drawing.
Yeah. They certainly saved the best for last. Josh, so neat.
Bruh.
So clearly what it is. A triumph. The shortbread is beautifully delicate, light. Look at that tomato. And they say, look at that tomato. They hold the tomato up. Because of the way this man made the tomato, he took a little bit of what he called boiled sweets and baked them as a part of the way the cookie bakes. So therefore, you basically get see-through a tomato looking like a damn tomato.
Yeah.
They had just clowned Keith about his tomato.
Because they looked crazy.
And that shady ass editor put that camera on Keith's face to like, here's this gorgeous tomato. And Keith is just like, well.
And like for me, this is kind of like it to me, just by looking at it, it is very clearly not a hamburger. However, the attention to detail, to me, this is perfection because I do appreciate the illusion that looks exactly like what it's supposed to be. But I also really appreciate the fact that these are cookies, but also it looks like a fucking hamburger.
Yeah, for sure. The Florentine burger is made of walnuts, pecans, almonds, currants, and cherries. Chewy, crispy, zingy, full of flavor. They don't often get illusions that look and taste that good. This ends up getting us the never before seen walk over after some thought handshake from Paul Hollywood.
He said, "I'll come to you."
My man. And later, Allison was like, "Yo, that was wild." He goes, "Man, look, I was so full of biscuit,
so full of cookie."
I was like, hold on, I owe that man a handshake, and it so well deserved. And like I said, again, we know that the technical doesn't count. I think Josh should have been fifth in technical, basically put him in the top part of the table.
But he was at eighth spot.
Six.
And then what did he make for the signature bake again?
Roll back. Give me a second. In the signature, Josh made the Black Forest, and they fuck with them shits hard.
So you did, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, neat as a pin, good crack on the chocolate, like the balance of sweet and tartness, pretty much spot on. So here's what it comes down to. I believe you get that handshake of basically what is a flavor that I don't think either of them expected possible in Tasha's signature. And like, man, you really made this malt do the damn thing. And it just looked gorgeous, straight up and down. And I'm not saying his didn't look gorgeous, but his signature did have a little bit of like he put a little cherry on top, you know what I'm saying? A little leaf that wasn't great if you want to argue,
I guess I just didn't care for her. I mean, it was great. It was just the chicken kind of fucked it up for me.
Yeah. But when you first see it, the illusion is there. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And so she did so well in signature, and so well in Showstopper.
She didn't do that well in the technical.
Again, but of course we know the technical simply just doesn't count until it does.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Because my man came in second in technical last week and went home.
Yeah.
So what's the point? So I know why you could be like, look, man, that Showstopper was so show-stopping. I feel like they should have gave. She even argued that you know what I'm saying, when they were put on camera, she was like, yo, I think my man got. I think
as soon as it came out.
Yeah, she like, I think my man got Star Baker, and damn, because she was like, damn, I was so close, and she knew she was so close, and in the end, she got it. And I don't feel like it was undeserved, but I know how it could be argued the other way.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm definitely arguing another way.
Same.
Fair enough. Your Starbreaker this week, as we just discussed, was indeed Tasha.
Because even Abby could have been in the conversation for me.
No.
No.
Only because she crushed it in, of course, that useless technical, which does you nothing. She did have a good showstopper. She had a messy that they said more that needed more finesse signature. So
and
that's where she fall off.
And they loved Tasha's signature.
Tasha got a handshake off her signature.
That's right. Okay, yeah. I was trying to piece it together. Okay, yeah. Yes, okay. But Abby and is his name Maddie, the other young dude with the brown hair?
I want you to know Maddie is coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying Maddie could have been Star. Well,
no.
He did. He had a solid enough signature, but they thought the chocolate was too thick. And they thought he should have spread his jam as opposed to putting a blob of jam. He did. They gave him fifth in signature. In technical, I think he should have been fourth in technical. And a great showstopper. So yeah, right up there. He definitely, if I'm saying it otherwise, so
like third place.
Yes, for sure. There's no way he wasn't. And so
I'm not taking anything away from Tasha. I just don't. In my opinion, I didn't think she was like far and away the best baker in the tent this week, but she clearly was not the worst. Like if she wasn't the first, she was the second.
Yeah, 1B. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Go sent home this week is 3 strikes and you're out, my man Keith.
Dog.
I'm not saying he did so well last week that I was like he was gonna go far. I was hopeful that he would go far because, like I said, super fan of the show, seems to know what he's doing in the kitchen. Super impressed with his signature last week.
That's because Nikki should have took her ass home.
Yeah, I want you. And I was talking to Ann about it offline, off mic rather. That I could argue Nikki went home this week.
Right.
because like I said, I don't believe she should have come as high as she did in the technical.
Right.
Her signature, I guess it tasted good. So
yeah,
and she thought she was going home this week too.
Yeah, I think.
But Keith was so bad. Keith was so bad in Showstopper, and so bad in technical that doesn't count until it does. And again, that oh my God, y'all, that signature was a mess.
I think I just had this in my head. It never counts towards you, but it does count against you for the technical.
For sure.
Which is crazy to me because if it's a baking show, a baking competition, you want to
talk about baking?
As a terrible, right, you want to talk about baking?
I didn't say it. How funny.
If you do terribly in the technical challenge, if you make scrambled eggs, a scrambled egg cake, you should carry your ass home.
It seems like anytime you get the scrambler, you should take a drink.
Yeah. But I do also think that there is something to be said for the fact that they either ignore or give the least amount of credit to the like super hard, nobody had a chance to practice challenge. Yeah. So like, okay, I understand.
I stand by, as we said last week, technical should weigh a lot more than it does.
Yeah.
It's just
otherwise, why is it there? Why are we doing it if it doesn't count? Let's make another third challenge that's gonna count. Let's score the signature then if the technical don't count.
For sure. That was Bake Off. Another thing the English show does, it also has coming next week.
Preview.
Yeah. And therefore I know next week is bread week. Which I mean is always, but still.
I love this show so much. I look forward to bread week in a crazy way. And I'm right in the place with like my health and stuff that I could go get a loaf of bread this week for bread week.
That's what's up. I was like literally like, I need to get y'all some custard creams. If custard cream show up at y'all door, y'all know what it was. Just want y'all. I need y'all to experience them and some tonics. But tonics, I don't know, is going to ship well. So we'll see.
I unfollowed the show on Instagram because I said
smart.
Yeah.
It's one of the things where or just mute them or whatever because they be giving too much away, and they be giving away early. Giuseppe put something on blast last week. I was like, Giuseppe, man,
come on, man,
get rid of you, my guy.
It's why I can't like follow anybody from Drag Race until the season is over because I just can't.
You know what it is. Hit us up if you are so inclined. Podcast at sayscrunchyandmilk.com or give us a call 216-264-6311. If you listen to the show on Spotify, that is where a lot of the interactivity that is baked into having a show hosted on Spotify is. And so I told y'all last week I would make sure to go look and see if we had any past comments that had missed. I'd missed because I had not published them because that's a thing you must do. And indeed, I had missed one. This is from the Great American Baking Show's episode 5, and Natasha P said, "Oh, the question was, what was the question? Forgive me. Ube in desserts." And Natasha P said, "Oh yes, I tried ube pastries when I was in Manila many moons ago. They were so yummy." Thanks, Natasha.
I love me some Natasha, if it's who I think it is.
There you go. Last week's question: what are your favorite fall flavors? And Bev Narayan said ginger, cinnamon, pumpkin, nutmeg, cardamom, cranberry, clove, pretty much all the warm spice flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And then over in the old email box, we got a couple from the same person. So we're going to get into it. This is from Karma Cookie 19. Hi. I started listening to your podcast last year on Spotify, GBBO, Great American Bake Show, and The Big Brunch, and tried to find all your GBBO podcasts, but the earliest I found was episode 1, Cake Week 2021, with Jurgen, Shiggs, Christelle, and Giuseppe as the winner, which I think, was I not our first season? Was that our first go around?
I think it was.
Yeah. So that's the reason that you'll find no more, because that's when we started. Did you guys do any of the seasons before that? No, we did not. We watched them all, and we talked about them all, and eventually we ended up doing a podcast together.
Not saying that we couldn't. I mean,
right. Just go back and have a good time.
Right.
I love your take on GBBO. Thank you for that. Thoughts, impressions, language, context, everything. My question to you is, how do I find information to contact, comment on an episode, take your poll, etc.? It ain't easy. I found the links on Spotify. See the picture below, but still had trouble finding the GBBO specific information. I would have loved to have commented on the last season with all the drama about Mexican and Halloween weeks and Paul's treatment of Sandro amongst everything else. He never did get Sandro a handshake.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to your most recent episode where Amos was booted. My first thought was, of course they got rid of the black man first.
Come on, this is
time.
my burner. Who wrote this? Come through.
I think it should have been Dana, even though she is my people. Or the Beaver Lady. I could argue that as well.
Nikki.
So where can I find the polls? Keep up the good work, Bev Narrator. So the same person who commented on the show page commented. They must have clearly they figured out how to comment and so forth and so on. And so they hit us back like a couple hours later. Was like, hi again, no worries. I found the polls. Thanks anyway.
Thank you. We appreciate it all.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Thanks for writing in. Thanks for interacting over there on the show. For those who don't know, so in your show notes at the bottom, you'll see Nick Jew, you'll see What's the Tea, you'll see Tatum 2 and 6, you'll see Taylor 713, you'll see Stage Crunchy Milk. All of those, if you click on those names, will link out to that goes to Nick Jew's Twitter, that goes to What's the Tea's Twitter, or it might go to What's the Tea's Apple Podcast page. I have to double check that. Tatum goes to Ant's Twitter. Taylor goes to my Twitter. Sage Crunchy Milk goes out to either the show Twitter and or its Apple Podcast page, or probably the Spotify podcast page if I have good sense. And if not, I will tweak those links right there. Those are the links I put in the show notes, and also I'll put the links to the articles kind of right beneath them. You'll see the word links, and beneath there are words. You can click right on those or tap right on those. They'll take you right out to wherever you need to go to. On Spotify, if you're looking at the show, all you have to do is on the show. If you don't have the show fully on your screen, make sure you tap at the bottom of the screen, pull the show fully up on your whole screen in Spotify, and then you just swipe up. And at the bottom there are our questions of the week, if we have a question of the week, and our polls. And so that's where you can interact with those things. Never thought to explain it because I don't know. I never thought to explain it, but this tells me that maybe I should have. And so thank you for that as well, Bev. And again, thanks for listening and getting down with the Get Down. I tell people, and I tell my co-host here, bro, I know what we do is dope. And clearly it touches people when I dig that. Gonna throw that in the old podcast folder. Thanks. Again, feel like it, give us a call. 216-264-6311. You can also text message on that number if you are like, I'm not trying to leave a voicemail, but you're good to go either way. What would be our question of the week and poll this go round, y'all?
I would like to know if the listeners agree with our sentiment about who should have gone home, because I think all three of us think it should not have been our boy. I mean, like, yes, he fucked up all three challenges.
Well, two of them,
but. Yeah, I don't think he was the worst one.
All right. That's the question of the week. Our poll. Have you ever had a custard cream?
Oh, good question.
Simple yes or no question. Yeah.
Good question.
That's how we get down, people. As we record these on Tuesdays. They come out. I was like, how it had been working is, we make them on Tuesday. They come out that next Tuesday. But I was just revved up and amped to get it out there. Plus, I had like a day off, and so I had time to get an edit done and get it up and early. So I'm not trying to say I should probably give you a more regular schedule, but basically, I don't know. It'll be out here sooner than you think it will be because I happen to have another day off this week. I'm off Thursday this week, so I will simply edit it that day, and voila. Will I throw it up Thursday? Probably not, as Skim goes up on Thursday, but I probably will throw it up Friday this week, which is good because Friday's when it comes out in America. So that way, you will have had last week's kind of recap for you from us, and then you can watch the new episode. So that seems to work. That makes some kind of sense. Is it always going to come out on Fridays? I don't think so, but it will this week, and so that's fun. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you have, like I said, if you got some questions or whatever, you or concerns, let us know. I'm saying we are pretty okay with talking, discussing, and moving as necessary and doing what we have to do. Nothing to it. But that has been episode 2. That was Biscuits week. It's a delight to have participated in and watched a couple of times. So that's gravy. That is the homie Nick Jew.
Justice for Jurgen.
As always.
Every time his name come up, I'm in the streets.
That's what's up. Don't make her spin the block, people. Don't do it. That's my man. And
yeah, I'll come through with the chop if I need to.
There you go. As easy as that. I am Taybro 713. We will see you again next week.
Brett week.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.